Welcome to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Hello, world, and welcome to episode 13 of the Urban Advantage Podcast, presented by the University of North Texas at Dallas. I'm Benjamin Bullock, the Senior Marketing and Communications Coordinator for UNT Dallas, and joining me as co-host is the owner and CEO of Rainmaker Incorporated, Greg, my man, Campbell. Greg, what's up, man? It's been a minute.
Hey, man, it has been a minute. I just got one question.
Yes, sir.
How come you always get to go first? I mean, why are you at the top of the show and I got to come in behind you?
And do you want to reread the opening again?
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that on a day, special day. I'm just going to grant you that grace today.
Oh, no, it's never a special day. Well, it is, but it's always a special day when I'm in the presence of you, Greg.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Now we're going to switch to some fun.
Yes, sir.
All right, so tell me about the NBA in this playoff, particularly in the East.
In the East, man, it's so when this show airs, it'll be Game 5, the rubber match between Milwaukee and the Toronto Raptors. Toronto went back home, picked up 2 to even the series, and it's been really good. You know, the role players are playing really well, especially on the bench for Toronto, and Milwaukee, they're kind of trying to figure things out. Even though Game 3, they did go to overtime, they nearly won.
Yeah, they did.
They nearly won, but they slipped up, and now the series is tied at 2-2, heading back to Milwaukee for Game 5.
Yeah, I know. Giannis is doing his thing. I mean, he had a rough game the other night. It looks like Toronto has figured out how to box him in. You know, got a wall in front of him.
Yeah, they're doing. I think they're doing a boxing one, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, he's having to spin through a wall to get to the rim. And Kawhi Leonard. What can you say about Kawhi?
I like Kawhi, man. Very quiet, very aggressive. You kind of picked up from where he hit that game winner in Game 7 to beat Philly a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, I really like Kawhi's game. His demeanor right now is very quiet. Goes about his business. Goes about it the right way. But so we'll see what they can do for Game 5. Should be very interesting.
Well, it seems like the folks up in Toronto are just in sync right now. I mean, the bench is in sync. The bench is starting to produce some points.
Yes, and I know Van Fleet finally kind of stepped up a little bit. Even though Marc Gasol's a starter, he's doing really well. But they just have a really good bench mob, and I know they have a really good home court advantage. That crowd, the atmosphere that Toronto brings to the table is probably one of the best in the NBA.
And they got Drake.
Yeah, they got Drake.
Don't forget about Drake.
He's so annoying. He's so annoying. Like, you know, he was like massaging the coach during the game yesterday, giving players high five and stuff like that. I mean, come on, bro, just sit down. Like, we know you're an ambassador towards the team, but you know, we get it. You know, we understand.
He's just doing his thing. He's being a super fan.
Yeah,
and we appreciate super fans.
Yeah, I guess. In that case, no, I don't like Drake, but right, so it is what it is.
So here's the big question.
Yes, sir.
Who's the MVP?
It's definitely between Giannis and James Harden, but I'm gonna go with Giannis because you know, even though James did a lot of good things this year, Giannis really brought Milwaukee surprisingly to the number 1 seed and the best overall record in the NBA. So yeah, I think Giannis is.
Even if Giannis does not end up in the finals, is he still going to win the MVP?
I think so, because even Houston didn't even get to the Western Conference Finals. So, you know, and they had a chance to beat Golden State without Kevin Durant for a game and a half. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Giannis on this one.
So does Houston get broken up after this season?
I think they're going to give it one more shot. I mean, you know, with Mike D'Antoni, he's very stubborn when it comes to, you know, his system, his style of play. But I think they're going to give it another shot. They have to, because they just re-signed Chris Paul like $130, $140 million contract or something like that. So they got to make it work. But I think they figured some things out. I like Capella. CP3 is kind of getting on the older side. I hope he can get better in terms of staying more conditioned and injury-free. James, I think he's good. I just think they just need just something to kind of come about them. I don't know if it's under addition or when it comes to D'Antoni and his system, something has to happen, but I think they'll be fine.
Well, we got a summer of very premium free agents.
Yes.
You know, KD, Kawhi Leonard. There's a whole bunch of folks who are going to be available.
Be out there.
Where do you think they're going to end up?
I think Kawhi, if they make a deep run in the playoffs, if they go to the finals, I think Kawhi's going to stay in Toronto. I think it's perfect for him because Toronto was like real low key, and he's more celebrated there than he was in San Antonio. I think he likes the atmosphere there. I think Kyrie most likely is probably going to end up in New York. That's what a lot of reports are saying, along with Kevin Durant. So we'll just see what happens, but it'll be very interesting. But we still got the finals to get through before we even start thinking about that.
And then we got the next step in the NBA, which is the draft.
Yeah, the draft in June. Yes.
We know who New Orleans is going to pick.
Zion Williamson. That'll be good. That's a good city for him. Just stay off the beignets, for God's sakes.
Right. Stay away from the food.
Stay away from Bourbon Street. Stay away, even though my favorite breakfast place there is called Biscuits and Buns.
Oh, yeah, I know
off of
that
Banks.
place.
You know it?
I know that place. You got to stay away from Biscuit and Buns.
Yes, stay away from that place. That place
that's
is
not
amazing.
a good thing.
Yes.
That's
yes,
not a good
yes,
thing.
Yes, what's going on with you, though, Greg? Everything good on your end?
Everything's been really good, but, I've been really listening and paying attention to a couple of issues that have been in the news recently.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening today about the sexual harassment complaints by McDonald's employees. And it's not just McDonald's, it's about fast food employees who find themselves being vulnerable and therefore not being able to complain about the sexual harassment that may be occurring in some of those workplaces. And, I'm not really feeling the stance of some of the employers saying, hey, well, these are franchise operations and they're not our employees, therefore we don't have anything to do with that and we don't have any control over those employees. They're still flying your brand.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I know McDonald's probably one of the most popular brands in the world. For this kind of be going on, it's kind of very interesting on that end.
That leads us to, discussion about sexual harassment in other locations. Nobody needs to be harassed in their workplace.
Right.
Or in their place of education. If you experience sexual harassment, there are plenty outlets within the university, within your employment environment to, shine a light on that and make sure that you as a person maintain your dignity at your workplace, at your place of education. Right,
and then those people shouldn't feel, scared or threatened to want to speak up, because at the end of the day, your health and your mind matters and your safety. So if those kind of things come up, please reach out, to your HR department, talk to your supervisor or somebody close to you and just see what they think about it. And if it is what it is, go take care of it and move on.
One other thing coming up, we got the runoff elections.
Yes.
So we have races for mayor and council where there are runoffs. Again, if you're in any of those districts, and certainly if you live in Dallas, you got to go out there and vote for your mayor. One thing I just say is it's really a shame that so few people actually vote in these elections. Why should a city that has millions of people have an election decided by 2,000 or 3,000 people?
Yeah, that's not good.
That is definitely not a good situation. I just urge everyone of our listeners to get out there and cast your vote, whoever you're voting for. That's not what's important, but go ahead and exercise your right to vote. It's very, very important.
Very, very important, man. We also have some important news on the UNT Dallas end. We had a record number of more than 500 graduates walk across the stage for our spring commencement. So shout out to those who received their degrees and turned that tassel. Your boy Tom Joyner was actually in attendance as the commencement speaker.
I heard that.
Yeah, and
what did Tom have to say?
More or less what he had to give. Let's just say he gave each graduate a $5 bill.
He gave him a $5 bill?
He was making it rain. Like you say, make it rain. He was making it rain.
$5. Now, wait a second. The guy at Morehouse paid off the entire student loan.
Including mine. No, I'm just playing.
For the graduates at Morehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've heard that was like about a $40 million gift. Did you hear that? $40 million? And Tom was handing out $5 bills.
But
right on, Tom. You got it.
But to Tom's credit, this was before the Morehouse guy dropped the stuff. The Morehouse speaker dropped.
Well, I mean, that's a big difference. $5, $40 million.
Exactly.
I'm not clowning you, Tom, but please. I mean, we can take it to a higher level.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. $5, you can go down to McDonald's and do what? Get a Happy Meal.
Man, look, back in the day, you can kind of get off on $5 on that dollar menu.
That was back in the day.
Man.
I mean, today you get a $1 menu. And you can get a couple of burgers and 4, nuggets
like
or something like that.
I know in high school I got 2 McDoubles, no onions, $1 fry, and $1 drink. So, and this is when I was living in Delaware, so ain't no sales tax out there. So I actually saved $1.
Yeah.
When I went to McDonald's. So,
hey, I understand that there was a ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yes, the new student center opened up, and it was a very eventful full day. I got to campus around like 8:00, and I was there to maybe about 6. We had our Robbie Owens, she was there. Our Fox news station here in the city was there. So President Bogmum was there doing all types of interviews all day. Dr. Monica Williams. Also, a lot of other people, man. It was just an awesome experience, and it was just a great day for UNT Dallas to usher in that new era.
That's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
And don't we have a law school move-in happening really soon?
Yes, that official ceremony will be on June the 6th. I won't be there because I have another circumstance. Another engagement. But we'll talk about that later on in the show. But yeah.
We're going to be moving into the new law school.
Yes, we are, and it's going to be amazing. Like I said, we're just literally not even about 500 feet from here. But
I know we're going to have like a second line march or something like that. Over to the new building, to celebrate that.
It's going to be
all
great.
The ribbon cutting and all that other stuff because it's a beautiful building.
Yes, and I know the food is going to be great too. From what I hear, I heard that they had a tasting last week. Wait.
We going into a new law school, so we had to have a tasting.
Hey, that's how top notch it is. You know what I mean? I mean, the Statler's providing the food. The Statler.
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah, see?
The Statler is providing the food for the law school?
Yes.
Oh, and I missed the tasting?
I missed it, but I heard about it. I didn't know about it, but I heard about it.
Okay.
You heard about it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So now, for those who are listening to the podcast for the first time, the purpose of this podcast is to identify and keep you updated on what's happening in Southern Dallas and at UNT Dallas. Ranging from education to economic development to community relations to entertainment, we'll have it all covered for you right here.
Be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast and by using the hashtag Urban ADV Podcast.
Greg, what is your social media handle?
I am Greg Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Real simple, real straightforward.
Real easy.
Hit me up any place
anytime
on that handle.
And mine
Not anytime. Not anytime.
Not anytime, no.
But any social media outlet.
Right. And mine is at Ben Bull Jive. Ain't that right, Greg?
Definitely the jive.
Also, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Well, coming up next, we'll welcome recent graduates and mother-daughter duo Viola Caldwell and Trisha Patterson to the show. Don't touch that dial.
Perched on a hilltop overlooking the downtown Dallas skyline, the University of North Texas at Dallas is the only public four-year university in the city of Dallas. Serving the #1 job market in America, UNT Dallas is ranked #1 in Texas and #6 nationally as the most affordable university. We as Trailblazers believe that every student should have the opportunity to earn a college degree regardless of their economic background, and we deliver. For more information, visit untdallas.edu. Blaze your trail. Welcome back to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Welcome back, everyone. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast and subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Today, we're excited to welcome recent UNT Dallas graduates, Mother Viola Caldwell and daughter Trisha Patterson, to the show. Hello, ladies.
Hi, how you doing?
Now, you guys have been in a whirlwind in the last couple of days.
Yes.
You've been on the news. You've been the news.
All right.
So tell us what's been happening.
Well, I'm going to let Trisha start off with what's been happening since she pulled me into this.
Oh, I pulled you into it. Okay. It has been a whirlwind. Truly, it has been a whirlwind. A good one, to say. We have been featured on Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 11, and if
you got more coverage than the weather.
It seems like it. We have our podcast with you, and then Channel 4 came back to do a mother-daughter feature on us as UNT graduates.
So what's made you so famous?
My age.
Now wait a second. We don't talk age in this show.
Well, it's not too many 69-year-olds that graduate with their masters. And then to top it off, Trisha, with her young 49, followed suit. So I think that and then plus we're UNTD's only, so far, graduating master's program, mother-daughter. Mm-hmm. And I think that was kind of what set it off.
Yes.
The fact that we're the first.
All right, so let's get it set.
Sure.
You graduated when?
December 2018.
2018? And your master's degree is in?
Clinical mental
health.
Clinical mental health.
Mental health, yes.
Okay. We're going to come back to that in a moment. Okay. And Tricia, yours?
My master's, I received it. I graduated Friday.
Okay.
With my master's in clinical mental health as well.
So both of you have master's degree in clinical mental health.
Correct.
Yes.
Why that subject area? That's such a unique area of study.
Well, my mom has her degree in psychology and mine is in marketing.
Okay.
We've always, everything that I've done, everything that she's done, she's a retired nurse. I'm a former flight attendant, currently an educator within the Dallas Independent School District. Everything that we've done has been in service to other people. And so it just happened that way. It wasn't anything planned. As I explained to my mom that being an educator, I often saw students come to school with so many things on their mind that they really couldn't focus on their academics because they were dealing with household issues. And so my thought has been, if I can reach their parents and help provide them with some services or some tools, then our students would have a better opportunity to get the academic experience that they need. I grew up in an amazing home. My mom was a single parent for many years and always had comfort. I had stability, and I still do. And so with that, I had a foundation for success, and I believe that that still works today.
Now, I understand the plan was for both of you guys to walk the stage at the same time, but something happened.
That was the plan.
So, Tricia, what happened?
Well, everybody seems fascinated about the fact that I got hit by a car.
You got what?
I got hit by a car as a pedestrian. Exactly. Exactly. And so I was out with my walking group one day. Someone, made an illegal turn, and next thing you know, I was on the hood of a car looking at the young lady beating on the hood, asking her to stop the vehicle. And she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her like, are you going to stop? To me, it was a blessing. And I'll tell anybody, I know that my life is purposed and destined, because that's actually the second time I've been hit by a car.
While walking.
I'm not walking with you.
Exactly. I don't blame you.
I'm just not walking with you.
And it's like, what is this with me in cars? Yeah. So, I did take some needed time off. And then, too, we were talking on the way over here, Mom and I, about the intensity of the mental health program. Many people don't know it's 60 classroom hours and about 720 clinical hours. So
wow.
That's face-to-face clients and then paperwork, the reading, everything behind it. And so they tell you in the beginning of the program that if your stuff is going to come up.
Yeah.
And you need to be ready to deal
So we
with it.
recently had Dr. J on the
Dr. Soto.
on
Yasmin
the
Soto.
podcast.
Okay.
And we talked about mental health services and behavioral health services
Yes.
being offered here at the university, and some of the programs that they are conducting, and both on the campus and off campus. And we've got a chance to hear a lot about the needs. And I personally have been involved in a number of behavioral health programs around here in the community. And the fact that there are a lack in services in the southern sector.
Yes,
There is.
definitely. And that is part of what everybody asks us what we're going to do. Tricia Patterson Inspires.
TPI LLC. I'm a
Better
motivational
promote that
speaker.
brand, Tricia.
Exactly.
And we
No, wait. What's that brand again?
Tricia Patterson Inspires
Okay.
LLC, and I'm a motivational speaker. I also do trainings, workshops on an individual and corporate level.
Nice.
And so we're really trying to get it out there in that capacity. And with my mom, again, being a retired nurse, she worked in behavioral health and addiction for
15 years as a
years.
nurse. So I administered medication, did a few groups, weekly, and saw the need to provide another service on the other side. So that when Tricia came to me saying that she thought she was going to go back and get her master's now, and I'm like, I'm retired. What better time to do this? I think I was
And
just
she
like,
can and could.
I think I can do it.
Yeah,
I think I can
exactly.
do it.
I think I can do it. I think I can do
And
it.
I did, and I'm so excited about that. But to say that it was not stressful, you have to kind of peel the layers off of yourself.
You do.
Before you can actually administer to somebody else, or to listen and to really be compassionate, understanding I think I've walked in just about everybody's shoes along the way. So I think I have a better understanding of some of the things that can happen to us as we go through the system.
Well, Viola, I'm interested as a fellow member of the senior class. What made you so determined to take on this challenge of getting your master's degree at this stage in your life?
Well, there were several factors. One, this is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted my master's, but raising a family, life, that kind of put back. I would attend different classes, different seminars, and the need to fulfill that was great. And so I felt like this was the best time to go ahead and do that. And when Tricia said, well, I thought we would be spending more time in classroom, but unfortunately we only had one class together through the whole program. So we're talking 3 years. We had one class toward the end of my, I think that was the semester before I graduated.
It was. We had one class, and the class was family. So it was interesting that in that class, it was exactly.
In that class, yeah, we wound it up. So I had an awesome opportunity. I met some awesome people. UNTD is still small. The students, I just fell in love. I know that I was older than all of the instructors. I had life stories to tell. A lot of
don't tell all your stories.
Oh, can't. Oh, no.
Y'all should have saw her face on that.
No, your daughter's in the class. You can't tell all of your stories.
Yes.
Oh no, Greg. No, we never talked about that either. And it's funny that you brought that up because we were talking about what do you share and how much transparency. It's important that when you are in class that you be genuine. And we didn't really tell people that we were mother and daughter. It wasn't a secret. But some people figured it out.
I look at you and I look at you.
This was long then, and so but we didn't tell people because I genuinely wanted her to have her own experience, autonomous of me, and vice versa. And so I never, and it's funny. I think about it. I never asked her what she wrote about in her papers. I never asked her because you have to give your life story on several accounts. I never asked her what she included because I felt like it was her story. Even though my sister and I were part of it, it was her story. And she was, I don't know, we've talked about it, just how amazing she is. At 15 years old, she had my sister and then had me at 20. So we grew up with her. But it's still that though we're such a part of her, she still has her own life and her own experience. And I wanted to make sure she had that.
Okay, so Miss Viola, now, we didn't get to talk about this now. Y'all moved from Indianapolis down to Dallas.
Right.
And then you got your undergraduate degree from Dallas Baptist in the 80s. So that's a huge gap from receiving your undergraduate degree to your master's degree. So what was that transition like?
Going back after it was about 32 years that I had formally went back to an accredited school. And so the first semester, second semester, I was saying, oh, Lord, I cannot, the brain's not working.
Yeah.
I can't. And the students, my classmates, they rallied around, oh, Ms. Viola, you can do it. Oh, you got it, da-da-da. And, it was so much of that support. It was so much support from the professors. It's like, well, I guess I got to do this. And my freshman year, I struggled. And toward the end of my sophomore year, I think I got my college legs.
Yeah.
And I just kind of marched on through the rest of it.
Right.
But my daughter, she would take the summers off. I went on through the summer.
Oh, yeah. That's another reason how she finished before I did. I was like, I'm tired in high school.
Right.
I didn't do summer school. I did last year because I knew I was ready to graduate. And I had to.
But it was an experience, and to say that I thank the Lord for allowing a lot of my friends. I lost a lot of friends. I couldn't make a lot of different just girl stuff, evenings out.
Sacrifice.
That's that word. I made a lot of different sacrifices, and I think a couple of them hung out with me and kind of encouraged me. And I'm an avid reader. I love the arts, plays. I missed a lot of things during that time with the focus on school. I think it made me look deeper into myself and to see really what was important, what actually is important to me. How do I want to spend the rest of my years? And it was only until at one of these functions that one of my old coworkers said, "Oh, so you retired from nursing to go to school, to go back to work." That blew my mind. I had never seen that as an outcome. Oh, you're getting ready to go back to work. And so I had to think on that for a little while. I was like, I don't know that I want to go back to work.
No.
Yeah. So
not like that.
Yeah. So through that, it made me really look into deeper on what I wanted to do and what I wanted to give back.
Right.
And so 2 or 3 days a week, do some counseling, volunteer my services.
Nice.
Either work
in
on
our clinic, you hear it say 2 or 3 days a week. So Trisha, you handle everything. I'll just, sashay in and see a couple of clients. And, well, I'm gone. Okay.
Is it lunch yet?
We'll see you
Tricia, how did
tomorrow.
it make you feel to see your mother walk across the stage?
Oh my gosh, just amazing. It is. She is spectacular. And again, when I say I'm blessed, God chose me and my sister for my mom. And I could not have asked for a better mother in the entire world. To see her walk and see when it came time for us to graduate, even I started before she did, but she finished before I did. And she hesitated and she was like, well, Tricia, I can just wait until next semester, which is now, to walk. And I was like, you will not. Under no uncertain circumstance will you wait. You've done the work, you put it in, your time. Please go ahead and walk, because I needed to see that. So I still have to say, though, my favorite degree, this has been just fun because we did it together, but my favorite degree of hers was in 1982 when she got her bachelor's. And that's because my mom, as a single parent, raised 2 daughters very successfully. She worked full-time, went to school full-time. I watched this happen. I experienced it. And so her initial degree in 1982 still is the most prideful moment of my entire life.
What was it like to see? I mean, cut you off, Trish. What was it like to see her walk across the stage last week?
Oh, I was so excited. It was really, because I didn't celebrate it all when I graduated. I went through the motions.
Yeah.
I walked across that stage with she did. I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was. We were way up in the balcony, and I had already told her. She told me no horns, no loud noise makers.
She
Acts up, y'all. Yeah, she acts up.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
She does.
I gave her. Okay, when you hear hootie hoo, know that's me. So before she left that building, I was hollering hootie hoo. I literally had a ball. So when you want to know, I was so proud, because there were points in the process, in the journey, that when Trisha also lost about 7 or 8. You had about.
I had there were about 14 deaths that surrounded me in the process.
Wow.
One of them was my godmother, and then a couple of other mother figures, uncle figures, a couple of friends, a couple of sister friends. It just was, my experience getting through that program has just been.
And then your accident.
So
Yeah,
there's
my
a
accident.
book?
Possibly.
Is there a movie?
It may be.
Y'all better pitch that thing to Lifetime over somebody like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was. I was kind of concerned at various different points, whether she was going to continue, because she got a little discouraged through the journey, whether she should do it or not. And when Trisha initially started, our program was 48 hours.
Exactly.
And that's what I went in looking. And then they changed, they got some more accreditation and made it 60 hours.
Wow.
Because that's what the state, everybody's going to LPC certification.
Yeah.
I was okay without having my LPC. I just wanted the community health component, because I am a person of the community. I really want to help my community. And on that, just kind of a sidebar, and no disrespect or offense to anybody or any other cultures, we all know within the African American community, there's a stigma against counseling.
Right.
And so I've had the pleasure and privilege of working at Powell Quinn College with a lot of the students there. They need to see people that look like them. In our community, we need to see people that look like us so that we can let you know that everything is okay, no matter how difficult this is. And I can look at you and say, you understand my journey.
So, Viola, what would you say to someone else who's reached our age of maturity? See how nicely I've said that? That is saying, all right, now I finished this chapter of my life, and I'm now looking into the next chapter of my life, and I'd like to learn something. I'd like to do something different. What would you say to them?
Go for it. Yeah. I spoke with a seasoned person on my way here, and she was really excited that she had saw us on television, and she wanted to do some other things. Well, with the challenges that she had, I was saying, no, this is not. I was recommending to her that the program was not what she wanted to do, but there's some other things. And I told her that I would come over and we would get together and do some other things. I'm really leaning toward holistic health, mind, body, spirit, and so this is what I'm hoping to pass on. You know, at this age, do some things that you really enjoy. You know, we were all so busy earning a living. We didn't have time to do things that made us happy. So now is the time, if you're going to get out there and get in mainstream, do some things that you really enjoy doing.
Exactly.
And so that's what I would say. I mean, I could talk on and on and on about.
It sounds like the key message from that book, I don't know if either one of you've seen it, The Second Mountain by David Brooks.
No, I haven't.
He talks about, you know, our first mountain in our lives is about striving to make the money, have the career, survive, get the house, get the car, get all those things in place. And then the second mountain is about serving.
Yes.
And about relationships and about giving something back and creating that legacy. That sounds like what you're talking about.
It definitely does, and that's really where I'm at. It's I keep on thinking, because I did 8 years in Army Reserve, and part of getting through that part was I know the Lord has brought me. There's a purpose. There's a person why they've got me hanging off this cliff, crawling in the mud. There, you know, I have a purpose, and so I said, because I wouldn't get all this type of information, this physical. I said, I don't know, I might have to lead some people through the mud or learn how to survive in the woods.
Some Sojourner Truth, Mom.
Yeah. I said,
Sojourner Viola.
Oh, shoot.
Viola Truth.
Right.
Yeah. So I said, there's a purpose for all this. You know, I might not see it right now, but there is, and it's going to be all put together, and then we're going to move on. I might do it later in life, and like I say, I just pray that my health continues so that I can do some of these things that I want to do.
So what's next for both of you guys? And this is my last question from my end.
Oh, what's next?
I'm kind of waiting on Trisha.
Okay, Trisha.
Okay, Trisha.
What's next for you guys?
I've got a PhD in mind.
Yes.
Right now I'm looking at different programs. But if Trish gets started, anyway.
Y'all gonna follow the same formula? from
Probably
last time?
so. We do well together, and I have to give shout outs to my big sister, Jacqueline Caldwell, because she was hands-on in the trenches with my mom. When I said autonomous, I meant that. So because I was working, Mom was retired, so I was over here grinding, working, school, and my sister really was instrumental in helping my mom
make it through the computer challenges.
Yeah.
Cause,
all of the technology.
The technology that was involved, I could not have done it. I was like, now, how did you tell me to send this?
Yeah, it was eventful quite
One more
often.
time.
Yeah.
One
It
more
was
time.
eventful.
So you had to learn Canvas
Wait,
and
did-
Blackboard and all that?
Yes.
Did you say it was eventful?
Eventful. Yeah, exactly. Eventful. See how nice
She
I
stayed
said
up
it?
2 or 3 o'clock in the morning with me trying to get out of paper.
Sacrifice.
Yes. And so, that's even to say my husband, bless his heart, I don't know, he would get in the kitchen and start cooking those old country meals, and it's like,
Let me guess. Biscuits, grits, bacon, eggs.
Yes.
Am I missing something or no? Sausage. You know what I mean?
Yes, he
But
took up the slack,
everybody
so.
pitched
Pitched
in.
in.
That's great.
And that was what was so beautiful about the whole thing.
And that'll be the. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Greg.
go ahead, please.
That'll be part of the next endeavor. And we laugh and joke about it. I say that I'm tired. I do want to rest, so she doesn't know this yet. We're taking her.
and we got an announcement.
Yeah, we
Cruise?
do have an
going
announcement.
on a
We're
cruise?
taking her on a trip this weekend. She didn't even know.
Oh my!
Yeah, she did not know. She did not
You
know.
know, she has been saying, "I really want to go somewhere this weekend," and it's like, go.
Where we going?
Yeah.
We're going to some beach. We're gonna go to some beach.
Some beach.
Oh,
that
yeah.
sounds mysterious.
We're looking at Kima. It's down near Houston. So
All right.
we're gonna collect our moms. My god sister, her mom, my sister, and so we're just gonna take our ladies and just relax because we really do need some rest.
Yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend too.
Exactly. Well, the goal is to come back late Sunday night, so we don't
Okay,
have to
be
deal with
traffic
much.
and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so from there, really, I'm looking into now. Again, I'm closing out the school year. As an educator, this is the beginning and the ending of the year are our busiest time. So with me graduating and closing out the school year,
So you're teaching too.
yes, I'm working still.
Wow.
High school.
Yeah.
High school.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's why it's been eventful.
Eventful. I understand. So wait, I got another very important question.
Sure.
You could have done this many other places in the Metroplex. Why UNT Dallas?
Ooh.
Good question, Greg.
Checking the cost. The
Yes.
cost was reasonable. The distance to my home and UNTD was something that I knew that I could do. Those two were my main concerns. And then after I went in and did my admission interview, the instructors that I met with really piqued my curiosity. So I don't know.
It's
how.
a nice environment. The campus is beautiful. The location, as Mom said, is prime. The cost, very effective. And the class sizes, I can't say that enough. The class sizes are small enough to where there's a level of intimacy. But then, large enough where you still have some autonomy, because that's important to me. For me also, I have professors' phone numbers in my phone, and they let you call them,
On speed dial.
Exactly. And they're never too busy for you. Right. And that means a lot, especially if you're an older student or non-traditional student. And I'm not talking about Mom, I'm talking about me.
We use the term non-traditional.
Non-traditional.
Adult student.
Adults.
Let's get away from this older and all this other stuff. Nah.
But I'm actually excited about it because, again, like I said, I've lost several friends. And so there are people that didn't make it to be my age. And so people are like, you tell everybody how old you are? I'm like, yes. I'm 49, and I'm ecstatic about it, that I'm in my right mind. I can make choices. I still have energy to go and to do the second mountain. And so that's where I am. So I don't mind anybody knowing at all. We're going to take this energy and roll it into our Wellness Institute. So
where is this institute going to be?
We need a building. So shout out to anybody out there that wants to donate a building. Well, hey, you have not because you ask not, and a closed mouth does not get fed. This man was a Mr. Smith, just spent $40 million paying off college tuition. So I'm sure somebody has a building sitting out there somewhere in the southern sector that they want something well. And I also have a nonprofit, so it can be donated to the nonprofit. Hey, I'm well-rounded. It's serving the people.
The pitch, Greg. The pitch.
I like this.
Yeah, serve the people. So we have the work. We just need a solid facility, and that is the truth. So
And that brings to mind loving my people, but they like to see initials behind your name. You hear so many people talk about life coach, not knocking the life coaches, but we wanted to show them that once you get your education doesn't mean that you go off somewhere else. You stay right in the community and help your community out. And that's what Trish and I when you hear her talk about Jacqueline, which is my oldest daughter, she's a paralegal. So now that she's knocked Tricia and Jackie, both of us out of the way, I want her to see if she wants to pursue further a law career. She's been a movie producer. She
makes films.
Man, y'all all over the place, man.
Rock
Yeah,
stars,
so
I'm telling you.
We're trying to get it so that everything that we need, we have in-house.
Right.
She handles all the legal ramifications in the family. So, we're trying to put ourselves in, we are a non-traditional, but as long as we have the energy and the wherewithal, we're going to be out there punching it. So
That's great.
keep your eye out.
Thank you.
Keep your
And
eye
if
out.
UNTD had our PhD program, we would have went on immediately. They're looking at a doctoral program in our field. They said possibly within the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
And so, our goal is to have them by then.
Viola's ain't waiting for that. She's going to go do it
Not
now.
at all, right? She's going for it. So
Yeah, well, as I said, I don't know how long I got, but I'm going to be busy.
Thank y'all so much for being here. We really appreciate y'all.
well,
really
thank
do.
you all for having us.
Thank
It's-
you. Thank you.
And if I can give a shout out to Ben and Monica and Jeff. When we started this journey, the whirlwind and the publicity and all of that, we started with Ben and Monica. They have been awesome.
Thank
They
you.
have been the same UNTD family, like extended. I didn't even know that department was over there. And so when we started, it was new for us. But they made us feel so welcome and so at home and so comfortable. So I want to publicly say thank you to you both.
Thank y'all. You guys have been great. I mean, you guys just told your story, and we're just glad that we will be able to, let the world know who you guys are, and that you guys can overcome anything. And that UNT Dallas is the great place for anybody to get an education, no matter the age or gender or race. So, thank y'all so much again. We'll definitely catch up with y'all, and good luck to y'all the rest of the way.
Thank you. Thank
Cool,
you.
cool.
Thank you very much.
Well, coming up, I have an announcement that concerns the future of this show. You're listening to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of Southern Dallas and the University of North Texas at Dallas. Stay tuned.
Attention UNT Dallas students, does your resume need tweaking? Or are you in search of an internship? Better yet, are you looking to start a business? Well, our Career Services Department is where you need to be. Under the direction of Arthur Lumsey Jr. and Whitney Crawford, this department provides career tips and guidance to get your professional journey on the right path. For more information, stop by room 246 in Founders Hall or send an email to careerservices@untdallas.edu. And remember, everyone, blaze your trail. Welcome back to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. Here are your hosts, Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell. Take it away, guys.
Welcome back, everyone, for our last segment and our final segment. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Urban ADV Podcast. Again, that's Urban ADV Podcast, and join the conversation. All right, y'all. So this will
Wait.
be.
What are you talking about? Your final segment and your final show.
Well, Greg, I have some breaking news. Okay, so beginning June 3rd, I will be transitioning from UNT Dallas to none other than the Dallas Cowboys.
How
Greg.
about them Cowboys?
How about them as a producer? So, this is such an amazing time for me. Definitely a dream come true. I definitely set out a goal to work for them a while back, and that goal is finally accomplished. So I'm excited.
And I am really excited for you, Ben.
Thank you, sir.
It's been a unique pleasure, joy, and fun
Yes, sir.
to work with Ben Bulljive. Ben is a unique individual. He's incredibly talented. For any of you who are listening to this, you don't realize how talented this gentleman is. He came into Dallas, a year and a half ago?
January 2018.
And just took over this town, made his presence felt, doing an incredible job here at UNT Dallas.
Thank you,
but
sir.
at the same time, he's out in the community, showing his creative abilities, producing, filming videos, producing segments, all in the sports world and other activities. And it's just been a pleasure to just watch you grow in the time that we've known each other. He's gotten married, had a child.
All in a year and a half.
All
That's
in
a lot.
year. I mean, this
That's
is
a lot.
this has been a big year for you, man.
Really just thinking about it, it is a lot. It is
How
a
many
lot.
people move into a new town, get their first job, get married, working themselves through here, getting a whole lot of other side gigs, getting recognized by the Black Chamber and others, and then picks up his dream opportunity now to be now wait a second, you ready for this? A producer for the Dallas Cowboys. Other than playing quarterback, what else is there?
Being Jerry Jones.
You and Jerry Jones. Now, this is the truth. I mean, this is not something that you just get tapped on the shoulder and somebody says, oh, yeah, we understand that you can do a little bit of production and therefore you can be a producer for the Cowboys. This is something that's highly selective. You have to have some great talents to be able to do this. And I'm just looking for wonderful, wonderful things with Ben Bullock behind the production process for the Dallas Cowboys. So tell us a little about what you're going to be doing, Ben.
Man, well, Greg, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for those words. We've been doing the show since August, and we met one time last year, but in the summertime, I definitely enjoyed the planning process for this, and the show has been great on so many levels. It's an opportunity for us to get back behind the mics that we did in college and, kind of stepping out of my comfort zone and just overall just having a really good time with you with doing this podcast. And shout out to Paul Corliss for putting this whole thing together and linking us up. So with the Cowboys, like Greg said, I'll be a producer, and I'll be creating content for pretty much all of their platforms, whether it be their main hub, which is DallasCowboys.com, working with the cheerleaders or whatever the case may be, and also just kind of creating really good stuff, really in-depth, inside access type things. I love that kind of stuff, and thankfully the people who hired me, shout out to Nick Eatman and Derek Eagleton, who will be my supervisors with the Cowboys. I'll be doing things like that, and also co-producing shows such as Cover 4, which is one of their main flagship shows on the digital media platform. Also working on the Blitz and some other things, and there's a lot of things up in the air because my role isn't clearly defined yet. But that's just kind of what I'll be doing, and I've already hit the ground running. I already hit them with 3 or 4 ideas I already want to do as soon as I step foot there on June 3rd, and they like it. So as soon as I get there on that Monday, I'm ready to hit the ground running. I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Well, one of the things we know is that Ben is a fantastic storyteller.
Thank you.
Again, one of the things you don't get a chance to see all the time, audience, is that Ben is always looking for the depth in the story. When we have guests coming on the show, he's not just dealing with, how they are doing in their immediate careers. He wants to know about their lives, how their lives have contributed to their success, how they are doing how they got to be doing what they're doing. And he brings that kind of side and understanding and angle to all of our discussions and on the show. And he's made this whole process a lot of fun and joy, not only for myself, but for every one of our guests that we've had on the podcast.
And also Monica Rana, our engineer, who's done a fantastic
Monica!
job. She does a great job with our social content and being here for, every single one of our shows. So shout out to her. She's done an excellent job on everything. So, but yeah, Greg, it's so crazy, man. Just kind of the build up to it. So I'll tell a little story behind it. I was actually a finalist for a job with the Cowboys 2 years ago when I was working at LSU. And the job was a digital media producer. And I flew out here actually. It was actually right around my birthday, my 28th birthday. And, as soon as I walked in the star, I was like, okay, I finally made it. You know what I mean? And then killed the interview. But when they called me, they said I didn't get the job. Now, I wasn't really mad about that, because I know at that time I was only at LSU for maybe about 6 months. And I know I needed to get at least a year under my belt to kind of get the full grasp of the experience and all that good stuff. So I wasn't really mad, but what I did was, and I want you guys to remember this, just I made a really good impression from the beginning into the end. You know what I mean? And they liked me. And, when I moved to Dallas in January, I let them know, like, hey, I'm here in the city now. Love to connect with you guys. And I connected with them around this time last year. Just went up to the Star, just met them again, showed my face, checked in with them, sent them some of my work. And then about a month and a half ago, they hit me up asking would I be interested in a producer job. I said, sure, why not? You know what I mean? And I only had to do like one little assignment to make sure I passed it and did well. I had to submit like a sample script from one of the shows, which was covered 4. Did an excellent job with that. And then they called me like a week later, say I got the job. And mind you, this is how crazy things work. I didn't even have to fill out no application.
That's the way it works. So there's a couple of things I hope you can take away from this. One is you do your best in what's in front of you.
Right.
All right. So Ben didn't get the job the first time up, but he stayed patient. He went back to doing what he did, and he did it very, very well. He made the transition to Dallas. He worked with the university and did an excellent job here.
Thank you.
And then he stayed in contact with the people with the Cowboys and then made himself available. He kept on telling them, hey, I'm interested. I want to keep on doing this. This is where I want to end up. And that perseverance, and along with your talent.
Thank you.
I mean, this is a talented guy. Along with his talent, made the Cowboys' decision a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's just like I said, I'm so blessed and honored, man, because I actually spoke this into existence. I remember my freshman year in 2006, I sat in my dorm room at Dale State, and I changed my major from sports management to broadcast journalism. And one of the first things I researched was that I'm gonna look see what the Cowboys do. It's my favorite team. And then once I figured out how great they were, I was like, you know what, I'm going to work for them on that aspect. So yeah, the time is here. I'm blessed, and like I said, it's just crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, looking back in the time period that we've had doing this show, what have been some of your favorite guests and favorite times?
Man, just off the top of my head, I know TJ was a really good one. TJ Vaughns, who just recently walked.
TJ.
Who just recently walked across the stage. He was great, man. I speak to him every single day. He's just a guy that's really on fire. For him to only be like 22, 23, already has his own business. Works with a lot of nonprofits. He's hustling. He's very, very smart. Had over a 4.0. You know what I mean? That was a really good one. I know Pastor Carter was a really good one that we had. His vision for Concord and them just greatly impacting the human condition throughout Southern Dallas. I just know those two off the top of my head were probably my favorite ones.
I'm going to start off with our first show. Do you remember our first show?
Yeah, President Mung.
President Mung.
Yes.
I mean, laying out the vision and future ambitions for UNT Dallas, talking about where we've been and where we're going as an organization, his commitment to the students, commitment to this community. I mean, that was a wonderful show. Yeah. And then I like tie back to our discussion with the Maiden Brothers.
Yes, Maiden Brothers, yes.
Talking about the development here in the community, what their vision was for what this community can become, and the linkage between the university and the community. And then I also love the conversation we had with Dr. J.
Yes.
Talking about behavioral health and mental health and how we're keeping students at their best.
Yeah.
And what resources we're trying to make available here at the university and in the community.
And I just thought about this one. I know Arthur Lumsey was a really good one. Yeah, that was a really good one because obviously you go to college to get a job. Yeah. And there's not a better department or department head, I should say, when it comes to Arthur and his team, when it comes to making sure you're on the right path to get a job. And I'm definitely going to miss them. Definitely going to miss you too, Greg, and a lot of people over at UNT Dallas. So, yeah. So anything else, Greg, before we say goodbye to these good people out here?
Well, I just want to say it's been a privilege to know you.
Yes, sir.
On air. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to know you off air.
Oh, we know each other off air now.
We do. And I'm looking forward to getting together with you and the baby and breaking some bread and celebrating this next step in your life. And then looking forward to seeing the other chapters of your life, because I know this is the next step. But there's going to be many more steps beyond this.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
We're going to see Ben Jive Bullock as an executive producer in some sports-related environment for a network or for a major team somewhere here in the not-too-distant future.
That'll be great.
This man has that kind of talent, and I am saying it first here.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna put that on my goal list. You know what I mean? Because Greg is an entrepreneur. Once you cross something off the list as a goal, you got to get back after it, make another one.
You got to go get to the next one.
Yes. And I just want to touch on this one more time too. So I really didn't want to leave UNT Dallas because it's a very good place to work. I enjoy the initiative and everything. I love doing this with Greg. It's been a really good change of pace for somebody who worked in sports. Somebody who never really had consistent weekend offs like that throughout the year. So it's been a very, very good transition. But you know what? I said, and I know me and you talked offline about this. Opportunities like this don't come around often. I can get another job at another university, knock on wood, maybe at UNT Dallas again down the road, but we'll see. I can get another job opportunity with another university. But when somebody like the Cowboys comes coming along, one, when it's a lifelong dream, two, that's enough for me. You know what I mean? And talking with you, my parents, and some other people, they definitely helped me come to that decision. Even Paul Corliss, he told me to take the job. So shout out to him and everybody else.
Well, we will miss you here
Yes,
at
sir.
UNT Dallas, but that doesn't mean because you work for the Cowboys, you're not going to have a presence and spend some time here with us.
Oh, I got to. Y'all gave me the opportunity to come here, so I got to get back.
So you're on loan. You're on loan to the Cowboys, but we're still part of the UNT Dallas family.
Yes. I will continue to be the part of the UNT Dallas family, and definitely going to keep up with you guys through social media and all that good stuff. So with that said, that'll do it for the Urban Advantage podcast. For Benjamin Bullock and Greg Campbell, thank y'all for y'all support throughout the year. Take care, and remember, you guys, blaze your trail.
Thank you for listening to the Urban Advantage Podcast, the official voice of the University of North Texas at Dallas. To learn more about the university, head to untdallas.edu. And remember, blaze your trail.